Hello, Algebra 1 students. This is Mrs. Raposa, and this is your lesson on Section 3.7, Solving Percent Problems. These are the hybrid out notes. These are the notes you're taking while you're not in school physically. Maybe your teacher gave you a copy of these notes the last time you were in school in person. If not, maybe you can print a copy of them. And if you can't print a copy and you don't have a copy with you, it's okay to write these notes on a plain piece of paper and write down everything you see done in the video. Please put a heading at the top of the notes that it's the 3.7 notes, hybrid out notes. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's fill in the top part of our notes before we do the examples. What does it mean when we're told that A is P% of B? Well, A and B are just numbers, and P is some percentage. So I always try to look for the word of, because after the word of is a number, and I know that that first number, A, is part of B. So that means that A is the part and B is the whole amount. A is the part, yep, and B is always going to be the whole amount. Keep that in mind as we write our proportions. A over B is the percent over 100. I like to write it as the part over the whole is percent over 100. You can copy that down into your notes, and then we'll take a look at example 1. Okay, let's take a look at example 1, and example 1 asks us to what percent of 25 is 17? Remember, we're going to use the formula part over the whole equals percent over 100. I see the word of, after it is the number 25. That tells me that 25 is the whole amount. And I also see that 17 is the part of the 25. So 17 is the part. What I don't know is the percent. I don't know what percent of 25 17 is. So that's what I'm going to solve for. I'm going to set up my proportion, part over whole. I said that 25 is the whole amount and that 17 is the part, and P is what I don't know, the percentage. So to solve that, I'm going to do 25 times P equals 17 times 100, or 100 times 17 is equal to 25 times P. That will give me 1,700 equals 25P. To undo multiplication by 25, I'm going to divide each side by 25. And I'll get that 68 is equal to P. I kind of switched P onto this side, but that's okay. So P equals 68. So the percentage that I'm looking for is 68 percentage. So that tells me that 17 is 68% of the whole amount, 25. Let's see if you can try example 2. What percent of 250 is 95? Okay, so let's see if you got it right. If you didn't get it right, it's not a big deal. You can just fix it right now on your paper, but you should have set it up like this, because 95 is the part of the whole 250. The percent is what you don't know. And when you solve that, you'll get that P is 38. So 95 is 38% of 250. Now let's take a look at how we're going to solve what number is 15% of 88, example 3. And to do that, I'm going to use the proportion, the part over the whole equals the percent over 100. I see the word of 88, so I know that the whole is 88, and the percent I'm already told is 15, so that number is going to go here. What I don't know is the part. So I set up my proportion this way. The unknown part over 88 is equal to the 15% over 100, 15 over 100. I'm going to change that unknown quantity here to x, and then we'll do 100 times x is equal to 88 times 15, which will give me 100x equals 1,320. And to undo this multiplication by 100, I'm going to divide each side by 100. And 1,320 divided by 100 is 13.2. So x is 13.2, which means the part that I'm looking for is 13.2. So 13.2 is 15% of 88. And yes, there's an easier way you could do this. You could just do 0.15 times 88. And if you know how to do that, great. If you don't, this is always going to get you the answer. The part over the whole equals percent over 100. Yeah, 0.15 times 88 will get you the same answer. So you are going to do example 4. What number is 85% of 194? Okay, did you get it? Did you get that 164.9 is 85% of 194? That makes sense because 85% is very close to 100%, and 100% of 194 is going to be really close to 194, and this is very close to it. Let's take a look at example 5. How do we solve this? 20 is 12.5% of what number? I'm going to use part over the whole equals percent out of 100. And I see that after the word of is what number. So that's what's unknown. The whole part is what's unknown. The part is actually 20 because 20 is the part of the unknown number. So and I do know that the 12.5 is the percent. I was told that. And 20 is the part of the whole that's unknown. So we're going to set it up like this. The part over the whole is 20 over x. And the percent over 100 is 12.5 over 100. Decided to use purple this time. So we'll know that 12.5x times x is equal to 20 times 100. And that will give us 12.5x equals 2,000. To undo multiplication by 12.5, I have to divide both sides of the equation by 12.5. And 2,000 divided by 12.5 is 160. So what does that mean? That means that 20 is 12.5% of 160. Let's see if you can do example 6 on your own. 156 is 75% of what number? Okay, so for example 6, the one you had to try on your own, hopefully you got that 156 is 75% of 208. And if you didn't get the right answer, that's okay. You know, sometimes we don't get them all right. Just, ask your teacher how you come up with that answer next time if you can't figure out why. So let's take a look at example 7. A survey asked 180 students how much they would tip for a $28 meal. So it looks like, according to this, there's various amounts that they said they would tip. And it looks like the most common answer was a $5 tip. 47 students said they would tip $5. The least common amount was $5.60. Only 8 students said that. So the question tells us, well, first of all, they told us that there's 180 students total. If you add up all of these numbers of students, 16, 28, 45, if you add them all up, you'll get the total amount of 180 students that were surveyed. So that means that all of the students equals 180 students. So that's the whole amount. So that is what will go in the denominator right here, 180 part over whole equals percent over 100. So let's look at the question. The question is asking us to find the percent of students who said they would tip each one of these amounts. So the percent is what I don't know. I'll call it question mark. I'll give it a variable, not x, but p for percent. And let's answer question A. What percent of the students said they would tip $4.20? Well, it looks like 36 students said they would tip $4.20. So that's 36 is the part out of the whole 180 students. So we can set up our proportion as part over whole is 36 over 180 equals the unknown percent p over 100. And to solve that, I will say that 180 times p is equal to 36 times 100. And 36 times 100 is just 3,600. And to undo multiplication by 180 on each side, divide by 180. And 3,600 divided by 180 is 20. So the percentage of students who said they would tip $4.20 was 20% of them. So now let's take a look at question part B. What percentage of the students said they would tip $5.60? Well, first let's find out how many of the students said they would tip $5.60. And that's right here. That's 8 students. 8 students out of 180. That means that the part is 8 and the whole amount of students is 180. So we set up our proportion as the part of the whole is 8 over 180 and equals the unknown percent p over 100. And to solve this, again, we use the butterfly method, I call it. 180 times p equals 8 times 100, which is 800. And to undo multiplication by 180, I'm going to divide each side by 180. And 800 divided by 180 is 4.4 repeating. Instead of leaving it as a fraction, since this is a percentage, I'm going to leave it in decimal form. So that means that the percentage of students who would tip $5.60 is about 4.4% of the students. This should set you up just fine to do the homework problems that you're asked to do. And remember, if you have any questions, you can always contact your teacher through email. You can come to extra help sessions, the virtual extra help sessions for your teacher, or ask questions in class or during the virtual hybrid out meetings. Okay? Hope that helped. Have a great day, guys.